a young man came to me for therapy who was in his early 20s, and he had a very, very severe anxiety state. And even now, after 34 years, it was probably the most severe anxiety state that I've ever seen. And he sat in front of me in my office and was just a bag of nerves. He was shaking, he was hyperventilating. As he was talking to me, he was stammering and stuttering his words. He couldn't relax. He was looking all over the place. And he was in a bad way. And he obviously came to me for help. And he said, "Well, you're my last hope. I've been like this for years." He said, "I've always been a worrier. Even when I was a child, I was a worrier. I always was bothered about things." But he said, as I've got older, the anxiety has been stronger and stronger. Since the children came along a few years ago, it's got even worse. And now it's there 24 hours a day. I've had to give my job up. I can't work. I sit at home all day shaking. I've tried everything. My doctors give me tablets. They've made me worse, which they often do, actually. Anti-anxiety tablets can often make things worse. And my wife's sick of it. My wife said if I don't get better, she'll divorce me. She can't. We don't have a life anymore. So I thought, okay, I'll do my best here, and I just guided him into trance, into a gentle hypnotic state, and he relaxed beautifully. And one of the main elements of trance is relaxation. You know, remember when we go into hypnosis, we know everything that's happening. We're not in a sleep. We're not under anesthetic. We're just in an inner state. But most people relax when they're in a gentle trance. He relaxed beautifully. And I thought, well, this is great. I'm going to just feed his mind with post-hypnotic suggestions about being more calm. And I was reading the suggestions and coming up with suggestions about him letting go of the old anxiety. And he was in such a deep trance. I thought, this is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He was so relaxed. And then after about 10 or 15 minutes, all of a sudden, he completely changed. And he suddenly became very tense. His whole body went stiff. And in the chair, he started to move around like this, and he's looking around. And then he started to speak. He started to sort of half shout and half whisper. And bear in mind, I'm sitting there with this man just resting in the chair, just reading suggestions to him. And the next thing, he's shaking and he's saying, "No, no, 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 hide! Quickly, quickly, hide the children. They're looking, they're coming, quickly. In here, quickly. Shh, hide, be quiet, quiet." And he was quiet for about 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, he started to scream and writhe at the top of his voice. "No, no, 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 not the children. No, 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 please, no, no, no. Ah!" And he just flopped down in a heap in the chair. And it was 100 times bigger than that, Edgar. I mean, it was just a massive, he was screaming and writhing. And I'm sitting there, my heart is beating. And he was just then completely flopped down in the chair, completely still. So I said, what was happening there? He said, it was weird. And he was laid there with his eyes closed, still in trance. He said, it was weird. I was like a man in another body, in another time. My family, there were soldiers trying to find us. They were coming for us. Nazi soldiers. And I was hiding with them. And then they found us and they shot us all and killed us all. What's that about? He said, what was going on? So I knew about past lives, of course, because I've been a Buddhist for many years before that. I knew very much about reincarnation, but I wasn't trained and never did past life regression with any of my clients. And I said, well, you've been in a past life. How do you feel? He said, I feel wonderful. I feel absolutely wonderful. He said, I feel so relaxed. I have never felt this calm in my life, ever. And his anxiety issue, Edgar, was cleared and released in like 15 minutes. And I thought, why don't I know about this? This is so powerful.